Dear audience, peace be upon you. From Baghdad, the citadel of victory and steadfastness, the newscast. The leader and the president, Saddam Hussein, receives the foreign minister of Tunisia as a messenger from the president of Tunisia, Ben Ali. Killing more than 12 Palestinian citizens and the injury of tens during the incursion of Israeli tanks into the West Bank. Al-Sahaf described the summit in Azor as the summit of the outlaws. The continuation of demonstrations in the Arab countries and all over the world against the war. The messengers of peace are walking through the streets of Iraq and demonstrating in front of the United Nations. Welcome to the newscast in the name of Allah, most merciful. Our President Saddam Hussein met with Mr. Al-Habib bin Yahya, the Foreign Minister of Tunisia, who is a messenger of the President Sayyid bin Ali of Tunisia. Ben Yahya transferred to the leader and the president an oral message from Zain al-Abidin bin Ali, the Tunisian president, regarding the dual relation between Tunisia and Iraq and the American threat against Iraq. The greetings of the president and the Tunisian people to President Saddam, enforcing that Tunisia government and people are side by side with the Iraqi people. The president welcomed the guest and sent his greeting to the Tunisian president and the Tunisian people. He mentioned also the strong relation between Iraq and Tunisia and the Tunisian position in the Security Council and in the United Nations. The president always mentioned that when we said that we will enforce the resolution of 1441, we were serious about that, and we will continue being serious, not out of fear, but because we decided that this is our decision. And when we said that we will cooperate with the inspectors, we were accurate about that, not because of the American threats, but because this was our decision. The inspectors worked for 7.5 years. They did not leave one place, but searched it, and they did not find any weapons or illegal activities. What kind of weapons are this that no one can find all these years? I'm not telling you a secret when I say that dealing with the inspectors, not because we think that the United Nations decision was fair, but because we want to prove the lies of the Americans and the British about the presence of nuclear and microbiological weapons in Iraq. These lies were so obvious that a lot of people in the world finally believed it. But when Saddam Hussein says that we do not have weapons of mass destruction, we mean it. I mean it. We are confident of what we say, and we decided to cooperate with the inspectors, and we said let them come and inspect, but America don't want the world to discover that they are liars. Therefore, every day they come up with new story to distract from the truth, because Bush and Blair declared several times that they are confident that there are weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Where are these weapons? Can we hide it in our pocket? We decided to cooperate and be positive toward the inspection teams so they can reach to the conclusion that Iraq unlike what America and Britain said, do not have any weapons. We are serious about that. But they should not touch our dignity, our security, and our independence. We have true desire to eliminate all weapons of mass destructions from our area and the world. If America wants to be the leader of the free world and not the number one hated country in the world, they should eliminate all weapons of mass destruction and put together a plan to eliminate all the stocks they have. Who will be having these weapons after America gets rid of its own? The rest of the world will follow the United States and will get rid of all these weapons of mass destruction. We are not collectors of weapons. We only have them to defend ourselves. When we were fighting Iran for 8 years, and the Zionist entity is still attacking us, and proved it when they destroy Tammuz reactor, the French-made, the peaceful reactor. The president also confirmed that France wanted these groups to finish their work. But we, Iraq, are more desiring that these teams finish their work as soon as they can, to declare to the world that they haven't found anything, and for the UN Security Council to lift the embargo. And also, there are other points in the UN resolution that were not observed, for example, by Israel. And the Security Council did not do anything to enforce anything against Israel, like item number 14, to eliminate the weapons of mass destructions from the whole area, especially the weapons that are in the Israeli and the Zionist entity. Please send my greetings to the Tunisian president and tell him that Saddam Hussein will never say that he doesn't have any weapons of mass destruction if he have it. I would like also to confirm we do not have weapons of mass destruction. We are cooperating with the inspectors. We will continue in our cooperation because it's in our best interest to finish this story. But who dare to put the bill in the neck of the lion? And who dare to stand and say that Iraq does not have any weapons of mass destruction? So the Security Council lift finally the embargo against the Iraqi people who suffered for 13 years. Please send my greetings to President Zain al-Abidin bin Ali and tell him even 10 times America will never be able to defeat the Iraqi people and control its destiny and future. If they attack Iraq today, they will find under every stone, behind every tree or wall, Iraqi fighters ready to fight and to die as martyrs defending Iraq, freedom of Iraq and its independence. America will lose if think that they will be able to destroy the Iraqi people, because the people is the benefactors of the prophets, and they will not surrender to anyone. We say that because we fought before America in 1991, and we fought the continuous aggression since 1998 on a daily basis, since 1998 until now. We hope that war will not happen. We don't need to prove or test our courage and steadfastness, because these people already did that. But we say we will give our souls, our children, our families, and we will never surrender Iraq. We are saying that to let everyone know that America will never be able to break the will of the people of Iraq. When evil comes to us, we will defeat it. Mr. Naji Sabri Ahmed attended the meeting. 12 Palestinian citizens killed and tens wounded by the bullets of the Israeli forces when they attacked the camps of the Palestinian refugees in Gaza. The forces of the Zionist occupiers attacked the city of Nablus and enforced a curfew on the camp. This incursion is increasing in nature, and based on that, the Palestinian Authority is asking the whole world to stop the massacres against the people of Palestine. Israelis are attacking all the Palestinian areas and committing several atrocities in Gaza. And the attack started in the early hours by tanks and helicopters and earth-moving equipment, destroyed the houses while attacking the civilians with automatic weapons, leading to the killing of 12 Palestinians and tens of injured. And they stopped the ambulances from reaching to the injured ones, which led to the increase in casualties. And the blood was all over the roads and the buildings. Completely destroyed 17 houses, and tens of families became homeless because of this indiscriminate attack against Beit Lahia in the northern of Gaza. They targeted the civilians by automatic weapons, leading to the killing of 3 Palestinian citizens. Then they enforced a curfew, forcing the civilians to stay inside their homes. Several roads and districts in Lahia witnessed confrontation between the Palestinian citizens and the Israeli forces. After that, the Israeli forces conducted a campaign of searching to find the Palestinian heroes. And finally, the Palestinian citizens declared that they will revenge to all the martyrs all over the occupied territories. France, Germany, and Russia declared together that the world need to work in a peaceful way to stop the attacks against Iraq and to work within the frame of the United Nations and the Security Council. The French, Russian, German declaration criticized the summit that took place in Spain, in which lies were declared and promoted throughout the world. France declared its refusal to any decision that allow the attack against Iraq. And also Russia and China declared similar statements. After a long time of inspection and solving a lot of problems, and in the presence of complete Iraqi cooperation, the 3 outlaws in their summit declared that they will continue in their attacks against Iraq. Blake said that those 3 countries are trying to withdraw the whole world into military confrontation. Several official reactions to this summit, such as Dr. Sabri's declaration that this summit is an example of arrogance, and it is the summit of the outlaws, isolated and only 3 countries. Putin also said that the attack against Iraq will have very dangerous consequences. Chirac of France said that he will veto any resolution that allow the use of force. The Foreign Minister of Greece, George Papadopoulos, insisted that to solve this problem, we need to use the resolutions of the European Union in last February to use peaceful methods. Few minutes after receiving his position, the new Chinese foreign minister insisted that his country oppose anything but the diplomatic solution. Amr Moussa, also the Secretary General of the Arab League, opposed any threats, American threats against Iraq, and he said that the United Nations is the suitable place to solve the problems. In Cairo, witnessing a hot demonstration, the head of Al-Azhar, Muhammad Sayyid Tantawi, confirmed that it is the duty of every Muslim to commit jihad against the United States. All over the world, united opinions and demonstrations against the war lead to the same conclusion, that the American administration is digging a hole that will never be able to come out of it. Several analysts and commentators who followed the isolated summit in Spain also confirmed that. Muhammad Sahid al-Sahaf mentioned that the Losers Summit said also it is the unlawful summit. They are trying to use new weapons and experiment with new weapons against Iraq. He also said that they drenched the world in a sea of lies without any proof. Iraq is clear of any weapons of mass destruction, and no one knows that more than the merchants of war. On their head is the American president. This is a repeated and silly lies. And when the world asked them to prove and submit evidence from the Americans or the British, they could not. They just submitted lies, like the report of the loser, Tony Blair, and reports coming out of the evil administration of the United States. It's like a circus now. It was a circus speech that was submitted by Powell to the United Nations. All these are lies. Therefore, the whole world now knows the truth, that there is no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. They are the ones who owns weapons of mass destruction. Those merchants of wars keep telling the media that they will try and experiment with new weapons against the people of Iraq. If we notice yesterday, the Losers Summit, the summit of the lawless, the three lawless countries, they continued their lies to the world without any evidence. And now they are in a hurry to commit the foolishness of the attack against Iraq, because they are afraid of their fall, and they will fall, because the world is very close to ensure and confirm that Iraq really does not have any weapons of mass destruction. Therefore, I believe that the world community opinion and their evaluation for what happened yesterday is that they once more failed to prove any of their lies. They are only warmongers. They want to attack Iraq, and it seems like the world starts to see clearly through them. These people do not respect the world's community or the world's laws, international laws, and unfortunately, they tried and they somehow succeeded to make the world believe. But the world is standing against war, against attacks. And they went to a small island in a desperate attempt. They try to save the Prime Minister of Britain, Tony Blair, but they will not succeed. This man lied to the extent that his people are making fun of him. They are also trying to save the American president, and it seems like the American presidents also will fall like Blair. Those are the merchants of wars. They tried to distract the world in a desperate attempt, but they didn't succeed. They are all. Those losers, the three losers, wanted to distract the attention of the world and tell the world that they are willing, but they are not willing at all. The whole world on one side, and those three are on a different side, and they are isolated. They can commit the foolishness against Iraq, but that will never change the truth, that the attack will fail, and the world will continue in the rejection to this criminals. Robin Cook resigned from the British government, protesting Blair's participation in planning to war against Iraq. He described the attack as immoral war. The resigned minister, who was responsible about the parliament, considered one of the most prominent personalities in Blair's party, and he was a foreign minister. Also, large number of the ministers in Blair's cabinet are opposing Blair in his participation against Iraq, like Claire Shaw, the development minister, who threatened to resign in case of war against Iraq. The Common House in Britain, also large number objected and opposed Tony Blair. And he asked Blair personally to resign from the Labour Party. Several sources confirmed that Blair will fall during the first three of war against Iraq. Same sources confirmed that several circuits inside the party oppose the war. Also, the Labour Party is opposing the war and consider it illegal and immoral war. Also, demonstrators against Britain and England attacked the oil market in London. Tony Maciek, who's a broker in the market, said that the dealing in the oil market stopped because of the demonstration and the violence. Hundreds of foreigners in Bahrain demonstrated in response to the call by the Dubai Human Rights Center. In the Center of Bahrain for Human Rights in Cairo, hundreds of peace demonstrators walked in Al Tahrir Square in Cairo, Egypt, and lit candles opposing the attack of the evil American administration against Iraq. And they sang songs supporting the people of Iraq and Palestine, and asked the people of the world to oppose the American and British efforts. In Karachi, Pakistan, more demonstrations, large demonstrations against America and against the threats against Iraq. The professional and union workers continued its opposition to the United States. In the Jordanian capital, Amman, witnessed large demonstration, and the participants requested from the United Nations to take its duty seriously to stop the attack against Iraq according to the United Nations charters. The demonstrations were against the merchants of wars and the countries that wants to attack Iraq. As part of the international campaign against war in Iraq, the popular forces in Jordan and the political parties and the syndicates walked in the demonstrations, and the professional unions and the workers' unions to express their anger at the United States. And we do not accept that our land becomes a launching pad for American attacks against Iraq. We refuse the presence of foreign power and forces on Arab land. We say, we are with Iraq, first and last. And every attack against Iraq is attack against the whole Arab country, against attacks, against America, against the Zionist American-British coalition who are killing our children in Iraq. We have to liberate Palestine. We have to protect Iraq. We are with Iraq. Iraq is the soul of the nation, the force of the nation. We are always with Iraq. And the outcome, God's willing, will be in favor of Iraq, because Iraq is the backbone of this nation. Several of the human shields who wants to go to Iraq walks in this demonstration, and they mentioned that targeting Iraq is targeting our nation, targeting our resources, the future of their children, our people. Position is clear. No for American bases, no for American presence, no for attack against Iraq. It is not going to be an easy task. I am an Iraqi, I'm Palestinian, I'm Jordanian, I'm Arab. This land is mine. From the Gulf to the ocean, Iraq is righteous. Palestine is righteous. No presence for Americans or Zionists on our land. God's willing, Iraq will win. Iraq will win, God's willing, because it's righteous. The demonstration walked through the streets of Amman, Jordan, to the United Nations headquarters, and they request that Kofi Annan takes his role seriously as an international organization to protect world peace against the games of the lawless societies who wants to play with the destinations of the people. The interfaith Russian visitors who came to Iraq expressed their opposition to America. The group reached to Baghdad noon today. 15 of the top Christian and Muslim scholars and religious leaders came to Iraq to support the Iraqi people. And the head of the Islamic Society in Russia declared that his refusal to the American attack is based on his faith and the faith of all faithful people in Russia. In today's situation, in this critical situation for our brothers in faith in Iraq, we greet their steadfastness against hegemony, and we want to tell our greetings of our people, and to pray to Allah in this holy land to solve the problem, this artificial problem against Iraq, in a peaceful way and diplomatic way, through the United Nations and through the world norms and laws. We came carrying our greetings and in faith of the Russian people, who, as a president and a government and people, support the Iraqi case peacefully, following the rest of the world in that regard. The representative of the Russian Christian Church calls for unifying the world to stop the danger of American attacks. Everyone in the world today wants peace, and we need to support each other to achieve this goal against war, against those who call for war. We pray to God to save Iraq from war, and we ask God to punish those losers. Mrs. Jamila Kahashi, the head of the Arab Islamic Japanese Society, in her visit to Iraq, she confirmed the position of the Japanese people in support of the Iraqi people against the United States and Britain. And she declared that there will be 30 human shield people coming to Iraq. She's saying that we came to Iraq to participate in stopping this war. So is the rest of the world. Should do the same. We as Japanese people, we say that this war should not take place, and that America does not have the right or the power to attack Iraq and killing the Iraqi children. And this is what we believe in. And therefore, we believe that America will never be able to wage war against the Iraqi people. It's impossible. We have to stop that. And we have to stop America in its track. The Almovik Committee completed the destruction of Al-Samud 2 missiles in Al-Karama company. The head of the engineering affairs declared that the visit took 1.5 hours, and it completed the efforts that they did in the last 5 visits in Al-Karama company. Today, we were visited by the inspectors headed by an Argentinian inspector, and they completed what they started on the 10th day of this month, taking inventory and destroying all parts and plants and the actual missile. Today, they completed the inventory and the destruction of all parts and plants that is related to Samud 2 missiles. In this location, they finished their work within 1.5 hours, and that concludes all the activities of Samud 2 missile in this location. More than 30 persons consider themselves the messengers of peace in Al-Durra refinery to protect it from any attack. They started their demonstration from Palestine Hotel, passing through the United Nations headquarters, and they give a document declaration of protest to the UN representative in Baghdad. The refinery have more than 30 people from Britain, France, US, Argentina, Spain, and to protect this location, hoping to stop the American attack against the refinery. Those people are receiving excellent hospitality in this location and living a normal life. This is Mustafa Mizwar from Belgium. He left his family and came here to protect Al-Durra refinery as a strategic service location for the Iraqi people. Mustafa said, "We hope to stop the war against Iraq," and left the embargo against Iraq. I'm willing to do anything to stop this attack against the children. A peace messenger, Godo Blasco, from Catalonia, Spain, He's a hotel worker. He said he came here to protect the children of Iraq who are suffering because of the embargo. He's worried about them because of the new attack, imminent attack. We need to do everything we can to stop this war and to stop the killing of the Iraqi children in the hospitals. Carl Dolan, a British and a grandfather to 3, he said that he, his family, and the American and the British people standing next to Iraq side by side against their government. All my family is cooperating with me, and they protest against war. They send me to be with the Iraqi people. And I want to tell the Iraqi people that the British people and the American people are against this war. The messengers of peace chose to come to Iraq and protect the Iraqi people with their bodies is an indication of the international support of the Iraqi people. This is not a rehearsal for a movie, but a Turkish reporter named Osman came from Turkey a few days ago to join with the other messengers of peace and to stay in a civilian installation to protect it as a human shield. Today, they went to the United Nations headquarters in Baghdad. I wanted to come to tell the world that the American administration are a bunch of liars and they are lying about Iraq to wage war against him. Iraq is clear of any weapons of mass destruction, but there is only mass love in Kuwait. They are walking in Baghdad, they expressing their objection to the American and the British lies that became known to the rest of the world. Those losing administrations caused themselves to be isolated. The world is full of beautiful human initiatives. This is just one of them. This horseman came from Turkey to express his rejection to war, to express his rejection to the attacks against the Iraqi people, his rejection to all types of aggressions by the United Nations and her supporters. At the end, the protesters gave the representative of the United Nations a written protest received by the Aid and Development Program in Baghdad. With this we conclude our newscast. I'm Nihad Najib and Ayman. See you next time, God's willing.